wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi washabihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. So inshallah we'll continue to study Islamic studies, and this will be the last class until May. And because Ramadan is coming very soon, so inshallah we'll talk about our preparation for Ramadan, right? Because without preparation, it's like somebody joined the tournament, the game, but you don't exercise before, right? You will never win, right? Yeah. Okay, Fuad. Are you there, Fuad? Okay.
Yeah. Start fasting before Ramadan. So if you haven't been fasting in preparation for Ramadan yet, I suggest you to start now. Ideally Monday and Thursday as it's sunnah, but squeeze the days in wherever you can. Each day fasting before Ramadan will help your fast during Ramadan, inshallah.
Yeah. One of Sahaba by name Usama, he said, "Oh Prophet, I never see you fast in any months beside Ramadan, that you fast a lot in Sha'ban." He said, because this is the month when most people tend to not pay attention, neglect it, right? Rajab is holy month, Ramadan is great month, so Sha'ban miskin, right? So therefore in Islam, when you do something, most people didn't do it, the reward will be multiplied a lot. And also it's preparation for the Ramadan. Yeah, because if you pass, at least, for example, you pass Monday and Thursday, because the most difficult in Ramadan is the first day, right? And then you become used to it. So therefore, if you can start from Sha'ban now to fast, at least try Monday and Thursday, right? So inshallah, like you join race, right? You not exercise, what happened? You cramp. Just one round, I said, oh God, right? So the same in Ramadan, you make sure that you prepare for that day. Yeah. Okay, Ahmed. Hendra.
Sorry, Imam Jaban, you were asking me?
Okay, I thought you understood that. Okay. No, just pass it. Okay, Hendra.
Yeah.
Can you read?
Yes, I can. Let's see. Our prayer is the first thing we are asked about on Judgment Day. That statement alone should drive home how important it is. If you lose your salah, you lose your iman. Start working on your prayer today. Pray like it was your last prayer. If you improve your prayer now, inshallah, during Ramadan, you will find it easier to increase your voluntary prayers.
Yeah, because mostly at night, what do you do at night, Ramadan? Pray. Pray Tarawih, pray Tahajjud, pray Witr, right? But remember, Allah more concerned about your quality than your quantity. And so therefore, we have to make sure that you improve the quality of salat, right? I know it's not easy, but we have to try. Yeah, and he said, pray like it was your last prayer. Imagine you're going to pray, the angel of death whisper in your ear, hey, this is your last prayer. What are you going to pray? Oh, Lord, it's the last one. You be focused, right? Yeah, I mentioned last time, try before you pray, you have to have a feeling. So salat is feeling that I'm going to meet Rabbul Alameen, Lord of the world. When you're going to meet governor, president or anyone that you admire, you serious? You turn off your cell phone. And he said, yes, yes. Now you're going to meet who? The Creator. And don't pray because you have to. Like you have to go to work, right? Pray because I need to pray. Also pray is like relaxation. You know, like people in the East to have relaxation is through yoga. People in the West do music. We Muslim, Allah SWT give time for relaxation. Muhammad SAW, when he have problem, stress, he go to pray, Allah Akbar, and he relax, right? So therefore, in Arabic called khushu. Khushu means your mind and your heart is present. I'm with Allah, right? So therefore, why it is very important to understand every words that you say in Salat. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. What in your mind? All praise and thank be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Lord of the world. Right? When you said, Iyyaka na'budu, that means you are face to face with who? Allah. You alone do we worship. Right? Face to face with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. So try to walk. I think last week class we described about how to pray khushu. One of them is pray based on love. You love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mentioned last time that when you love someone because what he is beautiful, there's no one more beauty than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You love someone because he always treat you nicely, kindly. No one treat you, more kind than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You love someone because he gives you a lot of favor, blessing. No one that give blessing and favor than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you pray, I'm going to meet, the most beautiful, the one who treat me fairly, nicely, kindly, and his blessing never stop. Yeah. Okay, Fadil.
Correct your intention. Islam puts a lot of focus on intention, and for good reason. It is not necessarily what you do that matters the most, but rather why you did it and for whom. As we draw closer to Ramadan, think about your intentions. Remind yourself why the Quran commands us to fast during Ramadan. O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous.
Righteous, right? Intention. Remember this. Any ibadah or worship or any good deed, Allah will not accept unless based on two conditions. So number one is intention. What for you do it? It is for God or to show off. So therefore he said, sometimes two people was praying in the same row. One of them, between them, like between the earth and the heaven. One was praying for God, sincere, focus, and the other one, he just want to show off. Right? A second condition, you have to do it accordingly. To do it, so you have to have knowledge, about fasting, for example, before you fast. These two conditions. So correct your intention. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned here, what is the goal of fasting? He said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, oh you believe. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala call special people, not everybody. You have to be honored. Allah call you because you are belief. So prove it your belief now. Right? Kutiba alaykumus siyam. Fasting is decree. Fasting is mandatory for you. Right? What's the goal? La'allakum tattaqun. La'allakum mean perhaps, maybe, hoping by fasting you become righteous, piety. Right? But Allah used the word la'allakum. Perhaps maybe that means not everybody. So therefore, why we need to have preparation before Ramadan. Because look at in the first day of Ramadan, what happened? Masjid is full. Look at after a few days, become less and less and less. Why? Because they are not ready. The imam not strong anymore, become down. Like Ramadan is the time before Ramadan come, you have to charge your battery, but they have to be full until the end. So the battery become weak and weak and weak, then become like regular again. And he lost a lot of, right? Sophia?
Assalamualaikum. 4. Straighten your relationship with the Quran. This is the month of the Quran. Do not wait for Ramadan to open your Quran and read. Start reading today and prepare yourself for this blessed month. Instead of reading for speed or with the goal to finish the entire Quran as soon as possible, I encourage you to read for quality over quantity. This means reading for 10 minutes with sincerity and a clear intention to understand is better than reading for 30 minutes without any care as to what the words mean. Read the Quran every day leading up to Ramadan and keep doing it throughout Ramadan.
Yeah. So don't start reading Quran in Ramadan, just waiting. No, from now, right? We have to start from now. After Fajr, before sleep, read. Right? And also we have to change the way we read. People sometimes their target is khatam. I have to finish. It is good, but you finish with just reading fast will not affect you. Because the Quran said, لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل. If Allah was sent Quran into the mountain, mountain, stone. لرأيت خاشعا متصدعا. You will see a mountain shaken and humble. The heart, our heart not like rock. But why Quran did not shake our hearts? Because you don't understand. Right? So it's better read one page and then you stop. Try to find the meaning. Or listen to the tafsir. Right? Or you read one juz and then you stop. Right? Just look at a few ayah that you enter interesting. Because the Quran changed the Sahaba. The people who are used to be, no etiquette, no manners, they're killing one another. They become, new human being because of the Quran, And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warning us the Quran. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Why you do not reflect the Quran? Right? Oh man, it's Arabic. There's no excuse. You can read translation. You can read the explanation. You can read, via YouTube and listen to, I want to know Al-Fatiha deeply. You read tafsir or listen to people explain about Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Even when you read it next time, it will change, it will be different. Because the Ramadan, basically, Allah SWT when take Ramadan did not talk about fasting mostly, but Quran. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The month of Ramadan which Allah sent the Holy Quran. Right? It is true that just by reading you get the reward. Right? Alif Lam Mim, you get 30. In Ramadan, Allah multiply hundreds, 300s. Yes, it is true. You get understand, not understand, but try this year to reflect, try to understand. At least, the surah that you read. Yeah, you will see how impact you when you read Quran and you try to understand the meaning of the ayah. Yeah. Mahnur.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Look at your manners. This topic is not addressed enough. Islamic manners, adab. It's important to highlight that our fasts are not desired if our adab is horrible. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Whoever does not give a false statement, i.e., telling lies and evil deeds, and speaking bad words to others, Allah is not in need of his fasting, leaving his food or drink." Narrated by Abu Huraira, Bukhari 6057. Start making a conscious effort today to correct any areas of your character that have rooms for improvement.
Yeah, manners. Any ibadah, any worship in Islam is to produce good manner, whether salat, hajj, fasting. It means if you fast, but your manners is not good, you are rude, you are mean, right? And some brother in Ramadan become mean. Assalamualaikum, Waalaikumsalam. Brother, I'm fasting. Because fasting you can be nice, smiling, right? So in the hadith said, if you fast, but you don't control your eyes, you open, use Instagram, WhatsApp, and you're watching as you like. What kind of fasting, right? You fast, but you cannot control your mouth. You call name, bad word, or you send a WhatsApp that's not appropriate, or lie, right? Or fighting, right? Because abstaining from eating and drinking is not difficult. A lot of people can do it, even non-Muslim. But to control your anger, to control your desire, that's the real fasting. So therefore, during Ramadan, try to avoid anything will ignite you. Yeah, so don't too much socialization, right? Only you come to masjid. Also minimize, watching Instagram, Facebook, right? Because one into other. Maybe you just and then because every second Ramadan is valuable, right? Don't waste it. Look at how many people now didn't get it. I have friend, brother Sharif. He passed away last Saturday. Allah, he couldn't make it. Maybe it's not for him. If Allah give you opportunity, take as best as you can, right? Because Allah knows that our good deed, our ibadah will not bring us to Jannah. Allah said, "Hey, don't worry. I give you opportunity this Ramadan." You know what's the word of fasting? Listen, the hadith said, "Man soma Ramadana imanan wa ihtisaban, ghufira ma taqaddama min dhanbi." Whosoever, that means whether it is man, woman, old, young, right? Whosoever soma fast in the month of Ramadan, based on iman, that means I fast only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wahtisaban, and hoping you will get the reward. Ihtisaban also from muhasabah. While you fasting, you remember all your sin, your bad thing, right? So you do that, غُفِرَ مَا تَقَدَّمَ. Your sin will be forgiven. You see the good, the hadith called ma, whatever. Can you imagine that? Whatever. Fast one day and then you die. Allah. All these 60 years, maybe 50 years, 15 years, whatever your age. Finish. But if you able to fast not only from eating and drinking, your eyes, your ear, and fast. Oh. And you can enjoy it when you what you call fast with all your your heart fasting, your organ fasting, everything fasting. Okay. Okay. Yumna?
think of healthy iftar meals. In the raging hunger that we feel during that helpless await for the dawn, most would testify that eating healthy is usually very low on the agenda. However, we must understand that Ramadan is more about reestablishing a commitment to Islam than about chomping down on uncountable plates of food. So it is important to be wary of what we eat during the month. It is also, of course, important to not gain 100 kilos during the month, so it may be pertinent to think of ways through which iftar and sehri can be made healthier. Pre-planning for a healthy iftar may also be less burdensome on the wallet.
Yeah, very interesting. You know, some people sometimes when the time, especially for iftar, when you break your fast, like your revenge. Oh man, I didn't eat lunch. What happens if you eat too much and you go to masjid, right? You do tarawih, Allah Akbar. Oh, this is crazy, Imam. It's too long, man. Right? You don't enjoy, right? You can enjoy, but you have to minimize. But also, it's not good for your health. Right? And also, some people sometimes during the iftar, because when you are hungry, look like you can eat everything, and then after half, you full already, and you throw the food. That's not good. Also, it's better just take a little bit and leave it. And also, don't forget dua, because dua when you break your fast will be accepted. Not only dua, ذهب الظما والعروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله تعالى. This result. Make long dua, especially before the iftar. You look at in the masjid, people talking. Allah, opportunity, and you talking, right? Yeah. Basim.
Unless you enjoy going out to shop during Ramadan, it's perhaps a good sign to shop for Eid before the month begins. Taking time out to shop in the midst of a usually packed Ramadan schedule might be a hard thing to do, so shopping beforehand may just make your life a whole lot easier. It may also succeed in banking on some amazing discounts.
Remember, I mentioned to you, if you want to be successful in Ramadan, you prepare for now, right? In many people in our country, for example, the last day of Ramadan, that's the best time to be in masjid, do itikaf. People shopping. What for Eid? Buy Eid now. People miss itikaf, miflatul qadar, just to buy the cake, to buy this to this, right? So make preparation for that Eid for Ramadan before Ramadan start. Ramadan start, everything was done. Your zakat, your sadaqah, everything was written down, right? Then you can focus. Oh, I don't buy for my kid. I don't. Halas, Shaitan get you. Yeah. Faisal.
Some of us are more privileged than others, but the Muslim Ummah is one and must take care of each other. Abu Hurairah noted that the Holy Prophet once said, "Whoever helps ease a difficulty in the world, Allah will grant him ease from a difficult in the world and the hereafter."
So Ramadan also the month that you have to show sympathy, the empathy, people who are less fortunate than us. So therefore, why, one of the great reward in Ramadan is to feed the hunger, to feed the one who break your fast, right? And whoever feed anyone who are fasting, he will get reward everything what he do. Allah. Imagine that if that man, on that day or that woman, he was finished the Quran, you will get reward that you are khatam Quran. You're not khatam yet. He memorized something, whatever you do. Yeah. So therefore, make budget. I want to support, for iftar in any masjid, in any country, because the reward is magnificent. Yeah. So therefore, if you make ease someone difficult is here, Allah will make you ease on that day when you need that very helps. Yeah. Okay, Salihah.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Practice the do's and avoid the don'ts before the Ramadan. Ramadan is not only about fasting, it's much deeper than that. It's about sacrificing one's desire for the sake of Allah, suppressing the wish, whether be it of eating or any forbidden thing, understanding the pain of other humans, sharing the valuables, giving charity, thanking Allah for the blessings, and repenting for the sins. We all think that we'll stay away from the sins of Ramadan, which we have been doing all year round, but that's not the reality, as we get addicted to committing that sin.
So remember at Ramadan, we are fighting. You have to fight. Fight against what? Against your desire and shaitan. Right? A lot of temptation in Ramadan. Right? And you will not able, to do that unless you make intention strongly. So therefore, why after Ramadan offer you do Eid? What you do in the Eid? Takbir, Allahu Akbar. Why say Allahu Akbar? Because you get a victory. Alhamdulillah, I defeated. In Ramadan, somebody tried to make me fight and said, no. Make me angry. He said, no. Right? In Ramadan, I want to open my Facebook, I say, astaghfirullah, no, it's Ramadan. And you can see the sweetness, when you struggle for that. Besides that, you will get the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. Rafa?
Assalamualaikum.
Salam alaikum.
In order to be able to follow the rulings on fasting and to understand the virtues of Ramadan, you need to seek knowledge about Ramadan from the Quran and Sunnah.
It's very important, right? Knowledge of this is better. Number one, the reward that Allah will give you different than you just follow the custom, right? But you have knowledge. What is knowledge about the benefit of suhoor? Now, when you eat suhoor, he said, Innal malaika make dua for you. Yes, suhoor, right? And then the knowledge, the benefit of pray tarawih, qiyamul layl, reading Quran. Knowledge what is recommended in Ramadan, in fasting, what is thing will break your fast. All knowledge is very, very important. So from now on, listen to lecture, everything concerning about the fasting. That will be, fasting will be reward more. And also, you will not confuse. Because sometimes you do something, oh man, that's wrong. Yeah. And even you know already, but you need to refresh again everything about Ramadan, right? So today is the last class for this semester. So next class will be inshallah on May 10th, right? Because after this Ramadan and then Eid, right? So we have 2 presenters today. We can start. Mahnur, can you start, inshallah?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, so Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mahnur, and I'm gonna be presenting on the story of the splitting of the moon, since I find that to be like a really interesting story. So it starts out as miracles are often like given to prophets, like alayhi salam, like not only Prophet Muhammad but all the previous prophets before him that were trying to preach Islam, and they were often given to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to aid them in preaching Islam. And one of the greatest miracles of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the Quran, but sometimes that like people who disbelieved didn't like see that as enough. And so sometimes there were extra miracles sent their way to help them in help the prophets in preaching Islam. And so another famous miracle that was given to the Prophet Muhammad and was reported is known as the event of Shaqul Qamar, or the splitting of the moon. We have some Quranic mentions here that can prove to us that this did happen. And it's from Surah Qamar, and it states that the hour has drawn near and the moon was split in two. Yet whenever they see a sign, they turn away, saying, "Same old magic." And so what that means is that the people that they were referring to that would constantly say "same old magic" is the Quraysh, and they were looking for proof of Islam, that the proof that Islam is the true religion. And so they asked the Prophet to split the moon. And the Prophet Muhammad SAW, he recited a few prayers and pointed to the moon, and then the moon split in two. The Quraysh, however, even after seeing this, they still denied Islam and claimed that the Prophet was just performing magic. And so some of the hadith that were narrated on this was one by Anas bin Malik, which states that the people of Mecca asked Allah's Messenger ﷺ to show them a miracle. So he showed them the moon split in two halves, between which they saw the Hira mountain. And then another one is it was narrated by Abdullah bin Masud, and it states that during the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad SAW, the moon was split into two parts, and on that the Prophet SAW said, "Bear witness to this." So that's kind of the evidence that we have that this event did happen. However, some people do have wavering opinions on what these narrations actually mean, especially the ones from the Quran. So the two major opinions that scholars have are that some think that the moon hasn't split yet, and that it will happen on the Day of Judgment, and it's because of the tense that was used in they use past tense in the Quran to kind of make the person that's reading it visualize it better what would happen on the Day of Judgment. And other scholars think that it did split at the time of the Prophet Muhammad SAW. There's also currently, this might just be a fun fact, but there is currently a crack on the moon that was discovered by NASA. Although there's I'm not exactly sure if that's connected to this. And according to an article in Arab News, there was a king in Kerala who witnessed this happening on the same day as the moon split, and while he was sitting on his balcony. And after that event, he sent a lot of gifts to the Prophet Muhammad SAW, and shortly after, he embraced Islam. Thank you for listening.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Thank you, Mahnur. You did a good job. MashaAllah. Yes, this is what you call happened during that time. It is to prove Muhammad is prophet. Instead, another story said that Abu Jahl and the group said, "Muhammad, are you prophet?" He said, "Yeah." "Prove it to us." I said, "What do you want? Look at that moon? Yeah. Can you split it?" And Allah inspired him. They just pointed like this, and the moon split. In Quran, اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر. So when they split it, there was we've been 2 months. Right? This happened because the next ayah said, "Sihrun mustamir." I told you, man, he's the magician. He's magician. Because if not, people will all become Muslim. Which I told you, he magic our eyes. But some of them, wait a minute. People can magic only people in the front of them. Wait until tomorrow. So the next day, the caravan came. And people said, "Hey, did you see anything strange last night?" "Oh yeah, man. We was take rest, we just lie down, in the desert. And then we saw the moon split. We thought, oh, they're dead, man. And we rushed. And then why come early? No. Right? So even before 5 you can see. But, when people only block their heart, it's difficult to accept. Right? This also, we have another miracle of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, now, thank you. No, very good. Yumna, you ready, inshallah?
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
I think you need to make me a presenter.
I think I did, yeah.
Oh,
You are
I
present.
had to join on a different computer, so
So I gave Yumna, right? You put Yumna?
yeah,
Maybe,
I
yeah.
have to do it again.
Okay, good. Okay, done.
Okay, can you see this?
Yes, we can see. Very good.
Okay. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Companions of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Who were the Prophet's companions? The Prophet's companions were anybody who knew him when he was in prophethood and died a Muslim. So like they knew him and they met him when he was a prophet and then the person died a Muslim. Many of these companions also helped spread Islam and supported the Prophet. So these people were amazing examples of Muslims through their kindness, their generosity, and their courageousness. Some of them collected hadith or they created physical copies of the Quran. Some of them also fought in Islamic armies, and most of them supported the Prophet ﷺ in some way. So these are some male companions that aren't as well known because I could only pick a couple. So Abdul Rahman, that means servant of the beneficial Lord because Rahman is one of the first 99 names of Allah. Abdul Shams, he used to be called Abdul Shams, which was the servant of the sun because he used to be part of a tribe before he converted to Islam after meeting the Prophet ﷺ, and he was a person who gave him the name of Abdurrahman. However, he usually went by the name of Abu Huraira, which literally means father of kittens because he used to always have a kitten. He was one of the best known people for providing hadith, and some of the hadith that were in the class today were provided by him. As I mentioned before, he used to live in a tribe before converting to Islam. He spent most of his time learning about the Quran or hadith because he was very poor and he didn't have a family of his own. He was patient with his mother to become a Muslim because his mother was one of the only people who stayed with him after he had converted to Islam, and eventually she was able to become a Muslim. And that teaches us to not be focused on material goods. Instead, even if like you're poor or you're like struggling with your family, you should always try and stay on your track to become a good Muslim, and also to be kind with your parents. So Sayyid ibn Thabit, I think, he was too young to fight in the Muslim armies, and so he decided to start learning Quran. And then after he recited to the Prophet ﷺ a couple times, he suggested that Zayd would start learning other languages to become a translation or like a translator for Islam. He was one of the main scribes for Quran revelations, and he was in charge of creating the final copy of the Quran and making several copies, and also eliminating other variations when they started coming so that there was one true Quran. Umar ibn Wahib, he used to be an enemy of Islam because his son was captured by the Muslims in the Battle of Badr. He was talking to a friend near the Kaaba and said that he was going to stop the Prophet. But when he went to Yathrib, the Prophet's companions saw him and told the Prophet. The Prophet asked to see Umar and told him that he knew about his conversation all the way in Yathrib, and Umar realized that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have told the Prophet about his conversation, and so he converted to Islam. So he became like a good Muslim and eventually converted a lot of other Meccans too, and that teaches us that anybody can turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So here are some female companions because if you didn't know, today is International Women's Day, and I thought it'd be important to include some female companions because these are like some of the best women in history. So if you're gonna learn about anybody, it should be some of these women. So Aisha bint Abu Bakr, she was the youngest wife of the Prophet ﷺ and was the daughter of Abu Bakr. She was a woman who recalled the most hadith, like out of all women, she recalled the most hadith. Older companions would come to her for advice because of her wide knowledge in poetry and medicine, which allowed her to become a teacher and leader who supported education. She was with the Prophet ﷺ when he passed away, and because she outlived him, she was able to bring information for generations after. Sumayya bin Khayyat, she was the first ever martyr for Islam for both men and women. She was born a slave and she was free later on. She was married to Yasser bint Amr, and both were some of the first Muslims ever. Quraysh and Abu Jahl specifically tried to torture her because they thought that she would be a weak target. However, she stayed true to Islam until eventually Abu Jahl killed her when she refused to believe in idols. And she is a very amazing example of patience and strong will, which teaches us to have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and stay persistent in Islam, even if like other people disagree and they make you think that maybe Islam isn't as good, but you should always stay persistent. And finally, Baraka bint Sariba, she also used to be a slave from Abyssinia, and then she was bought by Abdullah, which is a Prophet ﷺ's father. She worked for his family through Amina, which is Prophet's mother, and stayed through her pregnancy of the Prophet ﷺ, even after Abdullah had died when he went to Syria. She stayed with the Prophet from his birth to death. Her entire family was devoted to Islam, and she was also called Ayman, which is the mother of Ayman. And she helped with delivering important messages and risked being tortured for Islam. So why do we need to know about the companions? There were amazing examples for Muslims. Their stories teach us to become more like them, and a lot of them are a source for inspiration. Jazakallah khairan.
MashaAllah, did very good job, Yumna. Yes, it's very important that to inspire us to. Yeah, Allah SWT mentioned in the Quran to read a lot of the history, and the story of the people that can affect us. You know, especially the story of the Sahaba. When your iman down, you know, read about them, for the prophets, for their suffering, right? Like, mashallah, you know, Ayman is like Rasulullah mother because, subhanallah, she was born until he died. Ayman served Rasulullah sallallahu, right? I would like to share some video little bit about Ramadan, inshallah.
نظرة النعيم يسقون من رحيق مختوم ختامه مسك وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون تقال العسار العقاب بهم ويعود الهوى ككبش دليل بذكر. Advice to the men that are in the audience. I'll start with the same advice as the kids. Delete the apps off your phone that are useless. Get rid of them. Get rid of the video game apps. Get rid of the Netflix app, the Amazon video player app,
Whatever app you have that you use for entertainment, it should be off your device. It should not be there. From now, don't say first of Ramadan, alhamdulillah, at least I can finish season 5. Don't do that. Be done with it. Be done with it. No more. No more. Allah Azza wa Jalla does not like people who hear a reminder and then they ignore it. And they tell themselves they'll change later. He doesn't like those people. Allah Azza wa Jalla describes those people sometimes in very harsh language. People who hear a reminder and they ignore it. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ ذُكِّرَ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِ فَأَعْرَضَ عَنْهُ. Who could be a worse problem? Some ignored this. He went ahead. Like, وَنَسِيَ مَا قَدَّمَتْ يَدَيْهِ. Responsible, even though he or she was reminded. So take it seriously. Get rid of the entertainment input. We have to take in the word of Allah, the advice of our Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam this month. So that means we have to stop the corrupt input. We have to put that to a halt. Even if you can't stop that for your whole life, at least respect this month enough. That's my first advice to the men. The second advice to the men is don't have long nights. If you are coming here for Taraweeh and you're making Salah extra salawat, but you're not making it for Fajr, or you're not something out a long night, you're missing the point. The fundamental prayers are Fajr and Isha at the masjid. That's your first goal for Ramadan. When you are meeting that goal, then you add other things. Don't socialize after Taraweeh is done. If you're going to come here, it doesn't matter if you come here for 8 or 20 or 4 or 6, I don't care. But if you come here and you're done with prayers, go home and go to sleep. Don't go home and invite people and 2 in the morning you're up and then you barely wake up for suhoor or whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that. I didn't come to Fajr. That way I won't miss it. But that way when you want to have a real salah. The point isn't just to make it to the masjid and stand there. The point is to be able to have khushu' and get here to time for salah and enjoy the Fajr. Allah says that you should complete the count, that the men in this audience and your boys that are 12 and older especially, bring them with you Fajr and Isha every day. Bring them with you. That's your goal this Ramadan. You're going to make it this Ramadan count.
Yeah. So it's very, very important, what you call Ramadan. The people sometimes, Tarawih is very important, right? But people sometimes they miss Isha, for example, because somebody invite me for iftar, right? And you miss what? You miss the Isha. This hadith said, if you can keep Isha in Jama'ah and Fajr, you will guarantee the net of power. If someone invite you and it's too long, I'm going to miss the Isha, don't go. I'm sorry, brother. I can eat anytime, any place, but I don't want Isha. And also, why I said it is very important to eat suhoor late. Because when you eat suhoor like, 2 o'clock, the stomach full, eat biryani, and then you miss Fajr. You lose a lot of things, right?
If you have a utility meter, like
Do you
this
love
on the
Gantt
side.
charts? Here's how easily you can build one in place.
Your house, you could get paid to go solar.
شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم قرآن أحسان عظام به ويرد الهوى ككبش دبيب بذكر.
Some people, as the month of Ramadan is coming closer, they're like, oh man, this is in July this year in Texas. It's going to be hard. There's that conversation some people are having. Maybe they're not having it with their friends and family, they're having it in their head. And those are the kinds of people Allah is talking to here. Allah wants ease for you. He doesn't want difficulty for you. He doesn't like you to be in difficulty. He doesn't enjoy putting you through pain and through hardship and through the heat and, to have you suffer with your thirst and your hunger all day. He doesn't like that for you. That's not what this is. One of the beautiful gifts in this ayah is in the month of Ramadan, keep fasting easier than any other time of the year. So if you fast in the month of Ramadan, it's easy for you. But if you fast outside of the month of Ramadan, it's sometimes harder. Your energy is gone. You're not able to cope. Allah makes special ease for you in this month. The first thing for the kids, get rid of the video games this month. I'm not saying for life. I know you can't survive. It's like oxygen for some of you. But it's going to be hard. But do it. This is part of you perfecting this month. The other thing all the children here should do, and the parents should encourage them. All the children here should do this. You should have a goal to memorize a certain amount of Quran this month. That you should have a goal that we're going to memorize every day. We're going to dedicate 1 hour and we're going to memorize Quran. Just read one ayah. If you don't know how to recite properly, download a good recitation, a good slow recitation. They're endless all over the web, right? Listen to a recitation of one ayah, read it properly, read it 10 times. Look at it and read it 10 times. Then don't look at it and try to read it 10 times. Then read the next ayah 10 times. And before you know it, you'll start memorizing Quran. The parents that are here, you should reward your children for memorizing Quran in this month. Yet, don't put pressure on the women to go so much. They're cooking half the day. The fast, they're just cooking. They're just standing in front of the stove cooking and not doing anything else. Have a light iftar. Don't have a heavy iftar. Don't fry foods and overcook. You cook enough for 10 people and there's 2 people sitting there. This is the month to remember the advice of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he tells us to fill 1/3 of our stomach. 1/3 for meal, 1/3 for drink, and the other eat the third alone. This is not the month for you to 10 minutes before Ramadan, you sit at the table. You're waiting. You got a mountain of ketchup on your plate, you've got the fries, the pakora, the samosa, and all this stuff. A mountain inside. And by the time you're done with that, you barely stand up from it. Most people, it's unfortunate, most Muslims end up gaining weight in Ramadan, not losing weight. Eat normal, eat light. Also, sisters, even if you are preparing meals or you're spending a lot of time or busy with other things, try to use that time up either for reciting, reviewing the Quran you've memorized, listening to recitation, listening to tafsir. Explanations of the Quran, whether it's in Urdu, in Arabic, or English, listen to. And there is so much food thrown away, so much left over, and it's just plastic cups. And people, from somebody else's plate, throw it in the garbage. Fruit lying around. We have no appreciation for what Allah gives us. Allah says at the end of the ayah of Ramadan, so you should be grateful. You call this grateful? Grateful means you save everything. Don't waste food in Ramadan. Don't put more in your plate than you can eat. Always put less. If you run out, become a bit more.
Yeah, that's good advice. I think a lot of people still do it in Ramadan. Subhanallah. Yeah. So try, inshallah, make this Ramadan is your best Ramadan. Right? Your best Ramadan. Focus on your spiritual journey. Yeah. Don't focus to the food. Yeah. Because this is maybe the last Ramadan. Yeah. I have a friend just passed away a few days ago. He couldn't make it. Yeah, because khalas. Yeah, if Allah gives opportunity, inshallah, right? Make this Ramadan maybe the last Ramadan and the best Ramadan, right? Okay. Rinat? Are you there, Rinat?
When there comes the month of Ramadan, the gates of mercy are opened and the gates of hell are locked and the devils are chained.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, get heavens open and you not take opportunity, right? If you die, you go to heaven directly. Yeah, Amila? Are you there, Amila? Okay, Fikri?
Assalamualaikum.
Alhamdulillah.
The month of Ramadan is superior to all other months, and the last 10 nights are superior to the other nights.
Right? But you know, you will not get the last 10 unless you prepared from the now in the beginning of Ramadan. Right? Well done?
Ramadan, the month of giving. Allah's Messenger was the most generous of all the people, and he used to reach the peak in generosity in the month of Ramadan when Jibril met him. Jibril used to meet him every night of Ramadan to teach him the Quran. Allah's Messenger was the most generous person, even more generous than the fair winds.
Yeah, it's like the winds, subhanAllah. Right? Make plan from Ramadan. For sadaqah, for nafaqah, you know, to bring the iftar. Yeah. So inshallah, in Ramadan, subhanAllah, you can look at R mean remember. A Allah, M morning, afternoon, day and night, Allah. Right? So if you focus, you open the Facebook, Instagram, how you can remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So from morning until the Quran, the dhikr, you sleep better than you just wasting your time for the other thing. Yeah. So make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, grant us the ability to reach Ramadan. Don't forget every day. And help us to fast and pray during this month, Holy Ramadan. After Salat, Allahumma barik Ramadan, Allahumma barik Ramadan. Right? Yeah. Also, Allah, don't let Ramadan leave us without your forgiveness of our sin. Right? And accepting our deeds. Make this dua from now on. Right? Oh, Allahumma baligh Ramadan. Every after Salat, read 3 times. Allahumma baligh Ramadan. Oh Allah, let us reach the month of Ramadan. Because we don't know. Right? One of sister, she want to do itikaf certain masjid. She said to her son, but today Ramadan, she passed away. But because you make dua, you still get the reward of Ramadan. Yeah. So let me make dua, inshallah. Alhamdulillah hamdan yafi ni'amaka fi mazid ya rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li wajhika wa 'azimi sultanik. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi washabihi ajma'in. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa qina adhaban nar. Allahumma sallim li Ramadan wa sallim Ramadan lana wa taqabbalu min wa tasallamnu minna mutaqabbala. Allahumma baligh Ramadan, Allahumma baligh Ramadan. اللهم بارك رمضان سالمين آمنين غانمين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله وسلم الحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. Yeah. See you May 10th, okay?
Alaikum.